So, Hannah, how was your week? I mean, you went to Strasbourg. Also, very exciting, Lily doing the Sunday summary from outside the EU Parliament. I thought, crikey, we're going up in the world, guys.
Before we left the Parliament for good, and I was sat on the steps with a right face. I'm going, I'm not liking any of those social media posts, but I want to leave.
Oh, I love you, Hannah. You're so
like,
funny.
Just sat there, I'm going, I'm not, and I kept trying to leave, and the staff member was like, you can't, yeah, we got to stay together. And I was like, I'm going to sit on these steps then. I'm not even looking at them post. Yeah, I was just like, oh. But yeah, no, I mean, it was a lovely Sunday summary, and it was a good place to do it, like, very cool. And so we just ignore Hannah's little minor meltdown about the whole event.
That's okay. We often do.
But then we got to the EYE village, 35 degrees, no shade. I was like this. And then I, like, nearly passed out, or kind of did. And then we went and ate food, and I don't know, they gave me this, like, potato waffle with, like, the sweet potato, like, in an actual waffle, though. Like, it was bizarre. Anyway. And then there was this, like, concert. So I went, this is not very autism friendly. Got my ear defenders on and went and laid behind the back. And then this man was taking some photos of the event and was like, and then this woman tried to come and, like, ask me if I was okay. And I was like, oh. Just laid straight out on the floor with my ear defenders on.
Well, it sounds...
But no, it was a really, really good experience. Very grateful to be able to go. I promise I didn't drop the whole time.
No, but I love a Hannah strop. Not for you, like, but they are quite entertaining.
Yeah, they're quite entertaining for me, though, I'll be totally honest. Like, not at the time, but, you know. How's your week been? Anything exciting happened?
We flooded twice. My work flooded. Yeah.
It's a bit boring now. I'm a bit bored of you flooding.
I know. Well, I'm a bit bored of emptying water out of the building. So, yeah, slightly... less exciting week than you had. I think that's basically what happened. All that happened.
Wow, enthralling.
For my week. Father's Day on Sunday. Me and David had a wonderful day.
Oh, what did you do together?
We went out for lunch.
What did you have for lunch?
We went to an Italian place. I had seafood pasta.
Okay, interesting.
Didn't think you'd be impressed by that.
No, but I wasn't very keen on any of the French food. Like, you best believe, I lived off, like, crisps, chips, and chocolate.
I mean, that's nothing new.
Feral. So feral.
Didn't fancy trying snails or frog's legs?
No. I'll get some kind of disease, crustacean disease.
Probably knowing you, actually.
But
shall we get on? Okay.
Yeah, because I want to say my line, please.
Okay. Well, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of You Don't Need a Hamster.
You Need a Therapist.
Woo! We're back.
Also, I mean, Lily was saying how she absolutely loves this podcast and just loves the funny vibes. She keep bringing the funny vibes, the authentic funny vibes. Especially, she really likes the relationship between us, and when I'm just like ironic, and you're like, okay, well, I think
you know,
like, she's loving, like, the I was meant to say this before we started recording, but she was like, she loved, and like how it's like the banterous vibes, you know, like the relationship, and she's like keep leading.
We all just need a bit more of that in our lives.
We do. Did you see the story that I put on, like, last week when we were recording? I had to put hamsters over our faces.
Yeah, I did. I like that.
Because, bless your face in it was like, so you'd have killed me if I'd put that on the internet. You would have killed me.
Well, that's good. And I think I knew that when you were taking the photo.
Yeah. But then I thought, I can't have a hamster over your face and not over mine. So I was like, well, because I didn't look quite as like I was like, you know, about to like morph into, you know, Frankenstein. I did the worst photo I've ever taken. I was like, oh God. But the hamsters were cute, so maybe I'll do that every week. Let's take a screenshot now. Smile. I'm going to put hamsters over the top. Anyway, carry on.
Anyway, carry on. Okay, today's topic is... This is inspired by you, Hannah. You need to prioritise your friendships.
Oh, yes. No, I do say that a lot, actually.
Yeah, you do. And do you know why I decided on this for this week, Hannah?
You missed me.
because I missed you and because obviously, like, there's a lot going on at my work at the moment. It's busy times. And I've had two instances this week where I thought I could...
You're pregnant?
No. I've had two situations this week where I've thought I just want to cancel my phone calls with my friends. This morning being one of them, frankly. So I'm like, I'm so busy. And then I went, do you know what, Millie? No.
So ultimately, in 5 years' time, we would still be here, but your work won't. Sorry. The stress you've got, in 5 years' time, it will be different. Whereas if you lose all your friendships because you're too busy working, then you're just going to be alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's less than ideal.
I'm just really tired and I don't want to, like, have these calls with my friends that I've organised. But not because I don't want to talk to you, because I always want to talk to you.
I know you do.
Yeah. And then I remembered what Hannah always says.
Yeah.
You've got to prioritise your friendships.
Correct. Oh.
So,
do you have any specific thoughts on the matter?
Well, yes. Yes, actually.
Yes, I did. And what are they?
Me and I was on the phone to Bella last night.
From Mountain View?
Yeah. We were saying, like, when you're an adult and you're out of the education system, where are we finding friends?
This has been a long-standing debate and conversation in all spaces.
Because honestly, I don't know where we're finding them.
I think every single person in their 20s who has done any kind of podcast or social media, this is the main question. You know, there's that. Have you heard of Solly Sisters? Yeah. Our story is actually really so random. I don't know it.
Well, no,
but no, I totally agree. And that's why there's a loneliness epidemic. And if you do insert the bit that we spoke about before in the other one about Strasbourg, what I was sharing with Lily, but also sharing with Molly, and Molly is a loneliness. That's her work is all in the loneliness space. Fascinating. I think we should get her. We should get her on the pod. We should. Yes. No. Absolutely. Actually, yeah. That's so good.
Please.
I'll ask. Yeah. Good.
Because I think we need to talk. We need to be more together
when we start interviewing people. We need an interview. We may need a little bit of structure. I know, our episodes, we like to just
we like the chaos.
And that really suits us so good. But I do think that if we're going to start interviewing people, we do want a little bit of
we can't do this.
Prioritising friends.
Me and Hannah are struggling to prioritise our friendship. That's what this episode's about. No, we're not.
But no, I don't think we're struggling to prioritise it. I think it's the additional barrier we have is distance.
We have an additional barrier of distance and also time, but in the sense of I've got 2 months and then I moved. But yeah, no, I think we were talking...
And also the time thing of so I've actually probably got more time at the moment because of the distance we are. You can't if we live down the road, we could meet up we did meet up in an evening or have a sleepover and then go to work in the morning separately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna look. But it is tricky. But to be fair, I've been listening to. I went off my podcasts for a bit. I've been listening to a couple, and there's been some really good ones on the Casual Magic podcast and the Comfort Zone podcast. They've both done really interesting ones on friendship. And I think maybe even Grace Beverly did one. And actually, Ali and G. It's actually quite a lot.
You love Ali and G, don't you?
I love Ali and G. They are just hilarious.
They are icons.
They made me wish I was a Nepo baby, you know what I mean? And even though they're not actually Nepo babies, but they're just rich. And I really could do with that.
I could do with being rich.
But yeah, no, it's trippy. It is, and it's especially I think when you're in the arts and freelance and stuff, that makes an additional barrier. I think because I think it's always hard in your 20s. It's all and as an adult because it was one of these podcasts that I was listening to of where they were saying how in school there's people who are all in the same life stage as you, all doing the same thing at the same time. All your schedules are basically the same, and then as soon as you turn 18, boom, everyone's
Yeah.
in different stages, and like the comparison, but also like just finding time and like people having different priorities. I think this is actually like Casual Magic Project. She actually has like she puts into her diary like times with friends in her diary.
That's what I was going to say. One of the things, and do you know what, I think this has really helped us,
non-negotiable,
is like having our Tuesday mornings. Like we
Yeah.
know that we're going to call on a Tuesday morning. So
Yeah.
I always leave Tuesday morning free. And
Yeah.
actually me and Bella have now we organised it last night, that we're going to do a Tuesday evening, like, little watch party thing, and we'll watch a series together or something.
Because I was going to say this, that like I think like I think we should have, and also because the thing, the Casual Magic podcast, she said like for different people she has like different like increments. So, like some people you want to catch up with every week, but like some people you wouldn't have enough stuff to say if you did it every week. But I do think that we need like two, because we need to work and play.
Yeah. Okay.
Work and play though. Work and play.
Work and play, boys.
And obviously like it will take, but like that we can make that work. But then like I'm thinking that'll be good, because then at least and I feel like we should be weekly. Sorry, twice weekly. I actually do think that, because otherwise I'm actually offended.
And I'll be sad. So.
And then maybe we'll have like a monthly one. We get Beverly involved.
Oh yeah.
Because Beverly's a bit busy. Or you can just join the family call.
But no, I do think like carving out that time that's like, I know that on this day, like,
sacred time.
This is like time that I'm not going to. And then it's being really strict with yourself, because I know like this morning I was like, I've got so much to do, so maybe I go into work early. And then I was like, no.
What I've learned is that I go to a really moronic place for uni. What I have learned is that like I hold everything in my head. I've been doing brain dumps basically, but I hold everything in my head, and like I'm really bad at like prioritising all of my tasks. I'm really good at prioritising work tasks, like in terms of like, but in terms of like prioritising when I like it's all mixed together, I'm so bad at. But I do think that like prioritising friendships has got to be. No, what actually I think, apart from like health and like self-care, a connection has got to be at the top.
Yeah.
Or like, because I think that if you look at all the big issues of like people struggling and stuff at the moment, like, it is that connection and like feeling like alone.
Yeah. And even like when I look back on Mount View and I look at like how much I love that experience, like it was the connections.
Yeah.
And also like even just, I think looking at theatre as an industry, like the thing that I love about theatre is the connections, and I feel like I've really learnt that over the past couple of years, is that the connections that you make doing theatre is actually, I was telling all of the kids that I stage managed this the other day, I was like, the real joy in it all is actually when you like make that like family unit, and you're not all going to love each other all the time, you're not all gonna like each other, that would be abnormal, but like the being there for each other and supporting each other and finding your friends and finding your family is actually where the real joy in it all is. And I feel I forgot that a little bit, so
I think that's so like, and I think because obviously you like your whole, we've mentioned it so many times, like your obsession about me, but I do think that like actually you're that thing, that the biggest thing obviously that you loved about it was the real like connection that you felt, and like the fact that you felt so like you belonged and you had like your people in your place. And I think that like that is, and I do think that like when it comes to going through life, like we do become so, because like our buckets just get so full and we have so much on our plate that we can't always see the wood for the trees of like what is important and like what is actually, because ultimately like we're all so cringy, but we're all on this floating rock. Like we are on a floating rock, like vibing. And I think, especially like when you look at like the horrific things that are going on in the world and like how lucky we are, like to be able to have, these worries rather than, life and death worries. I think that like, obviously, that's not to say that just because we're in that privileged position, we should just like sit there and think about like, obviously not, like that's not going to help anybody. Like looking at like, right, absolutely, you know, you need money, so therefore, like, we've got to work.
Yeah.
But if that comes over the top of everything, and it depends what kind of person you are. Like, for some people, you know, that is what they, but ultimately, like, look, tomorrow isn't guaranteed. And actually, you know, there has got to be a balance. And, you know, ultimately, if you're fulfilling your contract, especially for contracts by other people, if you're fulfilling your contract and there's not enough hours, that is not a you problem, that is that business's problem.
Yeah.
And as much as, like, you know, obviously, like, don't, you know, doing the bare minimum, like, but ultimately, like, we're in a capitalist society, like, you're not gaining anything from killing yourself into the ground. Shit. Working yourself into the ground. Like,
Yeah.
you're not. And, like, you're, like, and I think that it is so, although friendships do become less as you grow older, because I think that you first of all realise that, like, first of all, you don't need a big group of people. Also, you know what, you don't have time to like, and because I was like, it was this statistic, I'll Google it while you speak in a minute, of how long it takes to, like, actually make a friendship. And, like, obviously, like, the length of time is so long, but it's like, once you've got that, it's really important to work on that, because friendships, just like any relationships, require work.
Yeah.
And in some ways, like, I think people often will put the work into a relationship, but they don't put the work into friendships, and therefore that's when they end, because they deserve just as much work, if not in some ways, a lot of the time, more work.
More work, because I think as well in, like, relationships, you end up spending so much more time, and then you get to a point where you might be living together, and so it becomes easy again. It's like that thing of, like, going to school and you're with the people every day kind of thing. It becomes that kind of... It
says, according to a professor, Jeffrey Hall, in 2018, that the average adult takes the average adult roughly 50 hours of time together to move from mere acquaintance to a casual friend, and for more advanced levels of friendship, it takes more than 200 hours to be considered close to someone.
That's crazy.
It is. But I do think that's so, like, valid and, like, so true. And I think that is why it's so important to work on those relationships. But I really believe in the whole, like, different people in different spaces for different things. And therefore, like, that's, like, to have, like, the really close friends like me and you, to be fair, like, I think we are still close, but, like, because we haven't spent as much time with each other, we probably do feel maybe a bit more distance from each other, and that's something of, like, we can work on that, and both of us can work on that, and, like, it's not about putting blame in either side, because as soon as you start putting blame, then it's like, that's just stupid, and then that also, that is, there isn't a blame situation. But, like, if we can both, whereas, like, you're not going to have that same relationship with everyone you meet, because that's giving, like, cult vibes.
Yeah.
Like, that's too much. But then, like, it's about having, like, different, like, going to groups and clubs and stuff, and I think that, like, that's the key of, like, for me, like, having moved, like, out and, like, being, like, alone, is, like, filling your time in different spaces with different levels of people stops you, like, getting burnt out, and also stops you from feeling lonely.
Yeah. No, definitely.
And there are plenty of good resources. I've actually got quite a few different resources that we can maybe, like, put them on the Instagram, like, link them. That would be good. But yeah, I think should we make a pledge on the pod, and then other people can make a pledge on the pod when they listen?
Yeah, let's make a pledge. What pledge are we making?
So I think we're going to pledge. Well, obviously, like, this is our working slot.
Yeah, we need a friendship slot.
But then I think we pledge a friendship slot, and that's just in the diary in the week. And unless, like, you know, somebody has died, you know, like,
ideally not.
It's a protected time.
Okay.
Like, it's like a business meeting, but not a business, a friendship.
Well,
we don't have to choose the time on the pod. We don't want people to know what time we're meeting. They might try and gate crash.
I don't think they'll be able to. But yeah, okay.
That's our pledge. And so if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh, I don't feel like I'm, like, you've got to put some effort in. And so therefore, like, find your friend and be like, right, guys.
Yeah.
Let's pledge. Let's make a protected time.
Let's pledge.
And then I think, so on, like, that's, like, with, like, close friendships. And then I think that the other thing of, like, prioritising friendships and, like, but, like, prioritising relationships and, like, time is finding those things, like, whether it, like, be going to a dance class, joining a choir, joining, like, a book club, going, oh, I really want to do a book club. Anyway, sorry, beside the point. But I want to do a non-fiction one because I don't like reading stories.
A non-fiction one. We should start a book club. We should start You Don't Need a Hamster, You Need a Therapist
book club. So good, so good. Right, we'll work on that behind the scenes. Although we might need a few more than 30 Instagram followers, so if we could maybe work on that, that would be ideal, so people get following.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you that later. It's just not relevant to this conversation. But yeah, in different areas, like the Lonely London Girls Club, like they've got, I think it's called the Lonely London Girls. Like there's a few places.
Yeah.
First of all, just to clarify though, like really big disclaimer: do not go and meet random people. Off online, like that's not safe. Like make sure it's an accredited.
Yeah.
But there are in all over the places. There are.
And if you are going to meet people, because I know people don't listen to those online safety things.
I know, I think it's absolutely bonkers.
I know.
Half the time I don't even really like meet my friends randomly. I don't know, it's just really bizarre. Like, I don't like that. I think.
But make sure if you are going to do it, let somebody know. Yes,
and preferably like maybe take like a really large man with you. I don't know.
But yeah, there are ways. I think the thing is like you see it all in London and like Manchester on TikTok. Like they've got these like the Lonely London Girls Club kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like I'm from a little town down south.
I think it's even harder with like the villages. But I was the Ericap, me and the Ericap are like this. Although I'm still not like an ambassador for them, and I really think I should be. But like I was looking at like there was some of the places outside of Manchester, so like not Manchester itself, like, and they had like local libraries, because this local library's got like a zine making club or a zine making club, and I think that's so cool. Like it's in like Levenshulme outside Manchester, and like cause I went past that on the train every day last year. But yeah, like there are those little things, and obviously it is harder. And that is the joy of the internet, is that there are like safe and respectable ways to, and we'll put some links. And I think that it's that thing of like just how we look at our like professional life and how we like want to expand that, and how we put time into prioritising that. We should also have the same strand for our personal growth.
Yeah, definitely.
And like doing a life audit, I really recommend it. I think that they're really expensive to do. I got a free one given to me. I don't even know why, by this person. But I've got the titles of like the different areas. Basically, like you look through your life and like you score. I think you score like how well like you feel each of these different areas of your life are like out of 10, and then with that, like you then checking it all the time. Then you like put yourself like set yourself little goals and like. And I think that like that because you've got like professional, but you've also got like financial, which I really thought financial side out, which is just really jarring to even think about it. But like then you've got like relationships, friendships, like all of those things. And I think that like that is something that like you spend your like at school, you have a careers like coach,
advisor,
whatever. But you should have the same thing for like your personal growth, like as well. Like make yourself a mind map. We'll make a mind map. Both of us will make a mind map, and the bits that we'll make one that we can share it on the Instagram, and we'll show you.
Yeah,
we'll make an Instagram friendly version.
Okay.
We've got to show the people. Sometimes you need practical advice, like practical tips. Like we're not doctors, psychologists, social workers, or anything like that. Because
no, we're not.
But this is just like a simple, this is not going to cure you. And you can do what you want with the information that you find, because I don't know, it's very individual and unique. But yeah, I think like separating personal and professional, but still having the same like creating like did you do a vision board this year?
Yeah.
Like it's having like I mix mine together because like I'm so like if I have a set goal, right? Like this is where I used to fail so bad, because like I'd be like I want to like do this, and that's why I hated New Year's resolutions, because which we both did an episode about, which is still on No Longer Legally Sane. If anyone wants to hear both mine and Millie's like takes on
New Year's resolutions,
New Year, they are both up still. The like I was, because a lot of things involve that are out of your control. So having a goal or a resolution that's out of your control is pointless, because it's not pointless. If you want to, that's so harsh. If you want to do it, like do it, but there can be extenuating circumstances that can affect your ability to achieve that. Whereas if you have like an overall vision, then you can achieve that vision. The actual nitty-gritty facts can look different, and I think that there should be done that for personal as well as professional.
Yeah, definitely.
Personal vision board. I'm going to do a personal vision board. I'm going to have a picture of you and me holding hands, skipping off into the sunset.
Hell yeah.
Because that's talking about. I'm doing this thing. Actually, no, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it top secret, actually, because I don't want everyone on the pod to hear my amazing summer plans.
Okay.
So good. Right, should we give some takeaways, or do you have anything else before I go?
Let's do some takeaways.
Key takeaways.
Key takeaways. Make a pledge with your friend to carve out some time that is friendship time.
Yeah, I'm making notes.
Other takeaways are, well, I guess like put yourself out there and research what's going on in your areas to be able to make new friends.
Yeah.
But I guess that again like fits into the whole thing of like having a routine of like social time.
Routine, and I think that like although it sounds like so prescribed, and I'm like you can be chill within your prescription. I don't have to be like, right, sorry, we are socialising from 4 p.m. till 5 p.m. on the dot, and at 5 p.m. get out of my house.
Yeah.
That's too far.
But then I think when you think about it, like at school, it didn't feel like it was prescribed.
But your play dates were.
But it was like.
Yes.
Yeah.
You think about play date is like a business meeting for toddlers. You know what I mean? Feral. It's straight feral. You think like they are. You've got your quote of the episode. A play date is a business meeting for toddlers. Like it's the parents doing it because they want you to like make friends and like learn social skills.
It's like chicken pox.
It's networking for toddlers. It's networking for toddlers and children.
It is really.
I love that.
But like that's the thing. Like it was prescribed. It was like I don't actually think there's that much difference between adult and child friendships apart from you're the one in charge of them now.
Yeah. Like, and like if you hit them for something, you'll probably go to prison.
Well, yeah.
And you might like just chat over, I don't know, a sandwich rather than like play Lego.
Yeah.
But well, actually, I did those Lego flowers with Beverly when we went camping last time, and that was so much fun.
Yeah.
I think that kind of life audit.
Yeah.
Just writing some notes for the socials. Okay, shall I give you my key takeaway?
Yes.
My key takeaway is your personal growth as much as your professional growth, because the connection is like having connection in life and in the world is just so important. 10 minutes. Yeah. Having different people for different things and different needs. That sounds so weird, but I don't mean it like that. I just really want to clarify.
No, I know what you mean. Like, different people fulfill different roles in your life.
Yeah. That. Absolutely. And, we live in a world where we need money. And so we do need to work. And, working hard is really, and I'm just like, I love working hard. Like, and I love working. I love, like, but also we all deserve the good fun bits as well. And, like, having that balance.
Yeah. Well, I think that sums it up nicely.
Right. Well, it's been absolutely fantastic recording an episode with you as always.
As always, Hannah.
People, make sure you sorry, just need to do a little plug here. Make sure you like the episode. Make sure you give us 5 stars on Spotify, please, because that really helps the growth of the podcast and gets our message out to other people. Please follow us on social media at if that's a lot for you to remember, just go on Be the Change Media Network Instagram and you'll find it through there. Also follow us on our personal accounts. No, well, not personal, like our professional personal account at Millie Nicholson and at Legally Detained. And also, if you really have loved hearing my voice, please also follow my podcast at No Longer Legally Detained, the podcast.
Love you, bye.